Hello, dear friends. How are you today? I hope so. You are fine. I hope so. This is me, Fayaz, and welcome on my YouTube channel, Topics with Fayaz. Our topic for today is change in speech. We will talk about this, how we make our gestures and speaking of way, and a kind of points and gestures. So let's start for our topic today. When we are lying, the way we speak changes as well as the quality of our voices. Pauses will start appearing in our speech. For instance, we are start using pauses that are too long or too short compared to our previous speech patterns. We suddenly pause where we normally wouldn't, like in mid-sentence or before we answer questions we ought to know the answer to immediately. We try to buy time by lengthening our vowels, make noises like or while we desperately think of something to say. Nerves can make stutters appear suddenly in people who otherwise don't stutter. We use repetition and say the same thing in the same way over and over. We use repetition and say the same thing in the same way. This has to do with the fact that we suddenly like to speak in long sentences as if we were afraid of what could happen if we let somebody else get word in, so we start speaking in long endless sentences with no end. An easy way to do that is to use repetition, because in that way you can keep going on forever, saying in the same thing over and over again without anybody else getting a word in. Or we do the opposite, suddenly begin to speak in very short sentences as though we were afraid of slipping up, of saying too much. All of these kinds of changes in somebody's speech are a serious warning that there is something going on at this point. You should start looking for other indications in the face or body language. And change in language. People who lie often exhibit a number of linguistic peculiarities. They begin to say things in ways they would never speak otherwise. Many of these linguistic peculiarities are so well known by now that they have become cliches, so common that we suspect a lie as soon as we hear them. They can even seem transparent to the liar himself, but that doesn't make it any easier for him to avoid using them. Many of these language chains get past most people's lie detecting skills, so it's a good idea to learn to listen for them. Thank you very much.